Okay, значит, Parsha Vaishlah. We already learned beginning of the Parsha. That's subject of this Parsha. How Yakov is coming back, and he's sending messengers to Eisav. And some of these Melachim messengers that he sent are real people, and some of them are actually Malachim, angels. And I've seen interesting commentary on Midrash Tanhuma that says that it's actually were regular people. One of his shepherds, but they were hesitant to go and bring message to Eisav because Eisav has a terrible reputation. He had a reputation as the person who can shed people's blood without, giving a second thought. The one who is a promiscuous, bad person, and on top of that, he hates Yaakov. And we have a axiom that basically when we deal with different nations, what do we do and how we act. And from this particular episode, when Yaakov is meeting Eisav, we're doing three things. The first one that Yaakov did, he sent gifts. He tried to buy his brother's good brother's love, so to speak, or a good attitude toward him. The second thing that he prays. And the third one he does, he's getting ready for war. How is he getting ready for war? It says that he arms his brothers, meaning his children, his shepherds, and he's ready to defend himself. I heard an interesting thing. How do we prepare for war as Jews? We run. Today, if you say Russian Jew, how do you prepare to war? You run. The average Russian Jew say, no. We buy ammunition. We go to a gun club. We are ready. In reality, we look at the big scale of things, that we probably realize if the whole country is organized and the whole country is against us, even though you have a gun, whatever it is, you probably better off running. That's how you protect yourself. But here, Baruch Hashem, one of the part of the plan that Yaakov devising when he sends in these gifts, and he sends the whole expedition. We count animals that he sends, it's a lot. It says here, 200 she-goats and 20 he-goats. If we look at the ratio, it's 200 to 20. The second one is 200 eves and 20 rams. We can, from this, we learn interesting halacha, how for the marriage advice, so to speak. And the marriage advice is if the man lives in town and he has an easy job, he's a businessman, he doesn't work too hard, he's not sweating too much, then he has a responsibility to be with his wife as much as she requests. Practically speaking, every day, if it's possible. There was a joke when Billy Clinton was around, and he became, famous for his behavior. He was called Billy the Goat. Billy Goat Gruff. I don't know if you heard of this kids book, right? What does the Billy Goat Gruff do? He just goes there and entertain the she-eves. So practically each goat requires 10 sheep. And same with the eves in the rams. Then we go 30 nursing camels and their colts. Next one, 40 cows and 10 bulls. A different ratio. That gives you another, reason to derive from that. How often the man who is working in town required to be with his wife. Because the bull, usually it's a working animal. He's not like a billy goat who just walks around, graze on grass, and fulfill his marital responsibility. He's the one who is working. He can be tired. So I'll say 2 or 3 times a week. Next one. 20 she donkeys and 10 he donkeys. Meaning only 2 per donkey. That's again another halacha that if Jewish man, he's a businessman and he travels And he says he comes to town once a week for Shabbos. So his responsibility to fulfill his marital responsibility is once a week. Just like the Jewish men who travel on donkeys, they go to a different city, they come back, but when he come back and home, that's his responsibility. Because we know the Jewish man has a 3, in every ketubah is written his responsibility toward his wife. That means provide clothes, lodging, and fulfill marital responsibility. Basically, take care of his wife. I forgot, what is the third one? Food, luncheon, yeah, that's the 3 things. Honor. And that's what it is. So next one is actually camels, who is not mentioned here. We see that there is a nurse in camels, and they're colts. We don't see male camels. What happened to them? That's a different thing. If the Jewish businessman, he's not just traveling for a week, he's traveling for months. Again, that's a different job. The one who is like a traveling overseas on a boat, so responsibly, his responsibility is less. But he needs to support his family and take care of his wife. So the next one we see here, as Yaakov instructs his shepherds, as he gives gifts to Eisav, tells him that when you meet Eisav, make sure you situate each flock with the space. Let's say you have a 50 goats, and with those 50 goats, I mean female goats, and 5 male goats. So that's one flock. So when they come on the horizon and they ask who you are, they say, "Oh, this is gifts. These are gifts." Is an instruction. 1 second. It's when Asa would ask, "What is this about? What is this gifts about?" And say, "This is your whose are these? They're your servant Jacob, Yakov, and it's a tribute he sent to my lord Eisav. And behold, he himself is behind us." So once again, we'll learn from this how to treat your enemy, especially if the enemy is say non-Jewish country in which we reside. We have to make sure we bribe them with gifts, give them a lot of respect, pray to Hashem that He's taking care of us, and make sure that you're ready, to save your life, but any physical, practical means that He needs to be. And we have a midrash that tells that Rivka, when she sent Yaakov to her brother Lavan, goes there, escape, because right now your brother wants to kill you. But when you come back, if time comes, I'll send you a letter. So Rivka actually writes a letter to her son, Yaakov, and said, "Time to come back. Seems to be that your brother anger subsided, and you can come now." There's another midrash, I forgot who says this and whose commentary is this, that tells that Yaakov counted that it's better for him to come back when his father Yitzchak is still alive. Because his intention, Esav, was, he said originally, when my father dies, then I'm going to kill my brother. And knowing his brother, Yaakov decided, I better come when my father is still alive. So something will be there to stop Esav from killing me. And it's very important. So that's what he does. So he comes, he gives them gifts. Basically, it's still happening. Gifts are already given. And then Yaakov sends his family. He helps his family across the river Yabok. And he says that he divided the people with him and the flocks and the cattle and camels into 2 camps. And he said, if Esav comes to one of the camps and strikes down, then the remaining camp shall survive. And then Yaakov said, God of my father Abraham and God of my father Yitzchak, Hashem, who said to me, return to your land and to your relatives, and I will be with you. I have been diminished by all the kindness, by all the truth that you have done for your servant. For with my staff I crossed this Jordan, and now I have become two camps. Rescue me, please, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Eisav. Это письменная Torah, but it's straight from the book. I'm just reading. It's not a commentary. It's directly from the Torah. For I fear him, lest he come and strike me down, mother and children. And you have said, I will surely do good with you, and I will make your offspring like a sand of the sea, which is too numerous to count. So Yaakov, practically speaking with Hashem, he's praying. He's doing the deal number 2, the gifts he gave already. Now he's praying. And he's talking to Hashem, saying, Hashem, you gave all these blessings to me. You will give all these blessings to Abraham. Who is the one who is going to hold this blessing? You need people. If you allow me to be killed by my brother, where the blessings is going to go? Yaakov is not acting on his own. He is on a mission that Hashem sent him. He is on a mission that his mother sent him go, right? He was blessed. Hashem reassured him on the way. On the previous parsha, Vayetze, when he was going toward Haran from Israel, Hashem said, I'll be with you, and I bless you, and I multiply you. Basically, he reassured that the blessing that Abraham received, now this blessing is on Yaakov and his family. Оно покоится на нем. That's what it is. So Yaakov is thinking, why is he in fear? Many people ask, why is he in fear? What is this? Недостаток веры во Всевышнего? He doesn't believe in God? Hashem said, goes, why are you being in fear? Hashem says, I'm going to protect you. You can think, it's just a normal human condition to be afraid. Another thing that tzaddik, like Yaakov, he realized many times, he thinks whatever he got more than he deserves. Maybe he's thinking, let's say there's certain package the person is supposed to receive, right? This is the package. And this package is being married, having children, having money, and having been protected with God. He's thinking, maybe I'm so wealthy right now. I'm having 4 wives instead of 1. I'm having 12 children, 11 this time actually. And I've been so blessed, maybe protection already been used. Maybe I got more than I deserve. That's what he's afraid of. That's why he's praying, and that's why he's in fear. He's thinking maybe he already used up all his merit. Maybe that's why. He's unsure. So he spent the night. I think we spoke about it, like a camp that strikes down, remaining camp survive, right? Did we speak about it, Robert? No?
Say that again.
About 2 camps, about dividing the camp into 2 different camps, no?
Just now, you read the text.
Oh, we didn't spoke about it.
Something about 2 camps being divided.
2 camps, yeah. So many times we look in history, since exile of Jewish people, since the first temple, and especially after the second temple destruction, it was always 2 different places or 2 major locations where Jews were living. Let's say when Jews were exiled from Israel and were taken to Babylon, so there was one community in Babylon, and another community remained in Israel. And even though one community in Israel was persecuted, and the Romans and the Greeks, gave us a lot of trouble, but in Babylon we were flourishing, at least spiritually. We were able to write, compose, write down the Talmud Bavli, all the halachas, all the rules that we needed to survive as a nation. And similar thing happened after the second exile, when we were exiled by the Roman Empire and the second temple was destroyed. Some of the Jews went to South Africa, and then some of the Jews went to Europe, and some of the Jews actually remained in Babylon. Let's say Bukharian Jews, they have a tradition that
North Africa.
North Africa, yes.
It means North Africa.
North
not
Africa.
South Africa.
Да, конечно, North Africa. I didn't say South Africa. Yeah, Africa, да. То есть вот этот top, как говорится, corridor, and then they go to Spain and to Europe through this path. So, where are we? So same here. There's two different main groups, main geographical locations when we were living. And if Jews were suffering in one of them, the second one, they were somewhat protected. Same happened, one of the most common, well-known cases on a timeline, right? We had this World War II, when Germans, Amalekim, Nazis, destroyed 6 million Jews. At the same time, Sephardsky Евреи didn't suffer much. At least nothing compared what we suffered. But my Rebbe Meir Kutov shares the story with me that his uncle, who remained in Europe, and right after the World War II, he came back. When he came back and they were meeting his father when he get off the boat, whatever, off the plane, probably the boat, that's the worst he said. He says that Eisav comes to one camp and strikes it down, remaining camp shall survive. Это то, что произошло. То есть получилось, что the camp of American Jews that immigrated into the United States and Jews that's already immigrating from Europe to Israel, these camps survived. European camp practically was destroyed. Its destruction started with Russian Revolution and World War I, when the locations when there was a Jewish, establishment, established way of life existed. The евреи жили в местечках, there was a education set up. И все было построено так, что евреи могли учиться, жить. There was a Jewish communities. So destroying Jewish community of Europe, this is what we're talking about. And as a result, World War II, the physical destruction of the Jews, because the Jews don't have a spiritual, nourishment through learning Torah, then the physical destruction comes. This is what we're talking about here. Maybe you guys have some questions. Yeah, I'll be happy to answer them before we move to the second part of the topic.
I always wondered why the Holocaust happened, and I didn't want to blame the Jews for it, but I wanted to think like maybe it was because we assimilated too much. And that was the issue. Like you said, that there was no Torah study, maybe not enough.
If anyone will give you,
it's disrespectful to the victims. That's 100%. Why I don't want to say.
Right. If anyone would give you,
our fault.
Right. Anyone will have a chutzpah to tell you straight why this happened, or give you a reason. Every family, including mine, suffered from it. Two of my grandfathers, on my father's side, Varatsinov, he never came back from the war, my grandfather. The second grandfather, he went through the whole war. And when he came back, 1945, he died, 20 years later at age 60, out of a heart attack and stomach issues. And I'm guessing because of the war that he lived through. And many Jews, my grandmother family, one of her sisters, the whole shtetl was destroyed. On my wife's side, basically my mother-in-law family, the whole town was killed in one day. So no one would have a chutzpah to tell you why and how this happened. But, Hashem, one of the answers that I heard that, European civilization, Eisav, the one that we are, talking about here right now, because Western civilization, Eisav, is a spiritual descendants of Eisav. They are descendants of Eisav. And after, the world seen all these atrocities, all the Holocaust that they were practically inflicted upon us, they had some, guilt. As a result of this guilt, they allowed us to have state of Israel started, reformed, formed as an entity, and let Jews emigrate, even though through the war they did everything the Jews would not be allowed to there. It was all illegal immigration. And we know many stories when, the ships with Jews trying to escape they came to United States, and the United States said, no, sorry, go. And this ship would go to then South America. and eventually, German submarine bombed it and destroyed it with people on board. Basically, majority of the world, civilized, so to speak, turned the back on us, and they were watching. They were, let's say, celebrating quietly, watching as Nazis, Germany, basically with the rest of the world, killing the Jews. So Baruch Hashem, we live in a different time, but we want to say we should never forget, and we have a mitzvah of destroying Amalek. We have
that the Catholic Church was very much with Nazis.
Yep,
it was in support. And you know what happened this year? They created installation where the baby Jesus is lying on the Arafat
Kufiyah. Okay. What can I tell you? We cannot follow up all the mishugas that people are doing, especially people who hate us, and they find any logic what they do. We just have to do what we have to do. And this is what we're doing right now. We're learning Torah. Right? By learning Torah and by living it, by doing mitzvahs, by eating kosher food, Yizrat Hashem, by celebrating, we have a Shabbaton this week, right? Both of you will be participating in it. You'll meet, 20 other people that part of this. We're going to be celebrating the Jewish way of life. That's all we can do. I always, we cannot forget that when my son was bar mitzvah, we needed to buy him a tefillin. Sometimes it takes time to buy a tefillin. So we asked my friend.
I make a point. Who's bar mitzvah?
My son. He's about close to 30 right now. He's 30-year-old right now. I'm speaking about something happening 15 years ago or more.
Oh, okay.
So you need to buy a tefillin for bar mitzvah boy. So my friend Daniel Kutov said, okay, I'll get you one from a sofer in Israel. Хорошо. We make an order. We're waiting for it to come. It's how much? Right now, nothing. When it comes, I'll tell you how much it cost. Then my mother-in-law received reparation from the Germany because she was a partisan. She was suffering from the war, so she was entitled some of the reparations the Germans were willing to pay to Jews for what they did. So part of this money, she decided she wants to send to her daughter, my wife. So we receive, usually we try to send money to them, but Russian Jews, grandma, grandpa, they wanna help. Even if they don't much, they still want to help parents, Baruch Hashem, good parents. So we received check for $400 from Vitebsk. My Jana is looking at me and she's saying, what do we do with this? I guess we can sell and send it back. No, they're not going to be take it back. They'll be very much offended. We have to do something. So we call on them and ask them, what should we do? And they say, oh, your couch didn't look good when we visited you. Buy yourself a couch. And we totally did not feel like buying a couch with this money. Okay, let's hold on to it. $400. And about a week later, my friend brings tefillin for my son and asking how much was that. He said $400. So when I told Rabbi Leaf how we got this tefillin, he was speaking on my son bar mitzvah, and he says that anyone is there looking when you see Yeshayahu or Atina putting his tefillin, remember, Nazi bought tefillin for him. So it's someone who wants us destroyed. They want to destroy it spiritually. They paid for our tefillin. Hashem has a sense of humor. That's part of it. Так что здесь происходит? We finally got to the topic that I want to talk about it, about how the angel of Eisav attacked Yakov. And why did this happen? Why is this happening here? So it says he spent night Это я уже говорил. And then Yaakov was left alone. He got up at night, took his wives, his 2 handmaids, his 11 sons, crossed the ford of the Jabbok. And he took with them, crossed over the stream, and sent over their possessions. So he sent them forward, and for some reason, he came back. And when he came back, he was left alone. If we imagine, this is Jabbok, right? That's his family here. And Yaakov is here. Basically, he went back to pick up something. And someone attacked him. And the man wrestled with him until the break of the dawn. So from the middle of the night until the sunrise. And when he perceived that he could not overcome him, he struck the socket of his hip. So Yaakov's hip socket was dislocated, and as he wrestled with him. And he said, "Let me go, for down has broken." Angel is asking. And he said, "I will not let you go until you bless me." And he said, "What is your name?" Angel is asking. "My name is Yakov." He said, "No longer will you be said, your name is Yakov, but Israel, for you have striven with divine, with men, and you overcome." And then Yaakov inquired and said, "Divulge, if you please, your name." And he said, "Why then you do inquire of my name?" And he blessed him. That's it. And Yaakov called the name Pnuel, for I have seen divine face to face, yet my life was spared. And the sun rose to him as he passed Penuel, and he was limping for his lip. Therefore, children of Israel, do not eat displayed sinew on the hip of socket to this day, because he struck Yaakov's hip socket and displayed sinews. I'll speak Russian a little bit, мне будет легче здесь. Значит, что здесь?
Right or left socket?
It doesn't specify right now. It's not important. As a result of this, we Jews, есть такое понятие минакер. Минакер – это человек, который делает, проверяет место, удаляет специальный нерв. Это называется седалищный нерв. Many people, especially men, have this pain, which goes from the hip all the way down to the knee. Называется, я забыл, как это называется. Это называется седалищный нерв. Называется также на русский верблюжье. Что такое верблюжье? Потому что это похоже так же, как у животного. Этот нерв, вот эта часть бедра, такая же у человека, как животного. Поэтому у нас в Минхах не есть. И есть специальная профессия, которая минакер. То есть минакер раньше он удалял вот эти вены и вот эти нервы, которые в этой части бедра. Это закон кашрута. Сейчас it's way too expensive to remove this, to pay minakir. Поэтому what they do, they just cut that piece and sell it to goyim. They don't need to do this work. But that's what it is. So the question is asked, I think
it's called the sciatic nerve.
Sciatic, thank you. Sciatic nerve. По-русски седалищный, на английский sciatic nerves. So these sciatic nerves, we are, so to speak, suffering until now. And what does it mean? It means the angel tried to harm Yaakov and couldn't. But he, so to speak, was able to harm him in a way that some of his descendants that come in from this area, потому что это такая зона, где, скажем так, вот так мужские органы находятся, meaning his descendants are affected by, being able to assimilate, or that's how we are suffering. We suffer until now from this. Сдается? Впервые слышите. Что вы слышите впервые, скажите?
Седалищный нерв у евреев.
Так и есть, да. Это и есть седалищный нерв.
Актуально, потому что на прошлой неделе я вывернул себе левое бедро.
Да. Поэтому надо следить. Это одно из самых слабых мест. И чаще всего люди, особенно мужчины, страдают. Начинают поднимать тяжести или что-то еще. Именно в этом месте болит больше всего. То есть very sensitive area. Да. well, we can talk about it, да. То есть есть специальные упражнения, чтобы как-то strengthen this area, там crunches, some other stuff. So,
And in the Zohar, it says that that's where all sexual desire extends.
right.
Heard that?
I heard that.